Welcome, fellow modelers. This is RDNT, Randy's Dioramas and Trains. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, click on that subscribe button. If you'd like to be notified of future videos, click on that bell. This is going to be a multi-part series build project for building a rock cliff with a river. So let's get started.
So here you can see I'm just using a wooden lid. This lid is just to the top of the base I used for my first diorama, so it's just a spare piece of wood I had lying around. I'm taking the lid here and I'm tracing it on to the extruded styrofoam, and I'm gonna just mark it out there with the ruler so I can cut and get my base square made. Here I'm just cutting the other side. Just make sure I've got it cut right and it fits the base right to the edges. Now I'm gonna mark out the layout as to how I want the landforms to be. Again, it's supposed to be two cliffs right now with a river running through it. So once I get those cut out, then it'll be just a matter of building them up, which I'll show you here in a minute. Here I'm just trimming them up a little bit, trying to form the styrofoam for the cliff. Here I'm just notching in a little bit at the bottom so it'll look like the water goes underneath the rocks there a little bit from erosion. Now I'm just marking out where they are gonna be placed on the piece of wood. Now I'm gonna start building it up. So I've taken another piece and now I'm just gonna trace the first piece on the bottom side so I can try and get the same contour for the next layer. as I'm building this up, I'm just grabbing some extra little pieces and stuff, anything that's gonna fit for that little jet out there. Trim that up as well so it'll get on the second layer. And I'm working on the other cliff. Make sure I can get the right contour and stuff for the second layer. Again, just piecing things together as I can to get them to fit. Trying to keep a straight edge along the one side so everything looks kind of neat on the ends of the diorama. Just fine tuning a little bit here on the cliffs. Starting the third layer. Again, just using spare pieces that are left over from the first initial cuts. So trying to reuse as much styrofoam as I can and not have as much waste. And just cutting out that top little piece for the one cliff. Tracing it so I know where to place it later on when it comes to gluing it down. And same here, just tracing it out so that once I go to glue it, I can put them in the right spot. Here you can kind of see what I'm aiming for with two cliffs and a river running down the middle. Here I'm just gonna start using some glue to glue the layers together. Just using clear Gorilla Glue. Just putting on a sparing amount and then spreading it around. Use a popsicle stick just to spread it around evenly and then join all the layers together. So now I've pretty well done gluing all the layers together. I did weigh them down for a day or two. Now I did notice after I made some plaster of Paris rock molds that I needed to trim up the wall a little bit, and so the next time I won't contour it as much. I'll leave that up to the actual plaster rocks. So now I'm gluing it to the actual wood base to get it into position. And the other cliff, I just thought it would be too narrow and too hard to work with the rock, so I ended up cutting that down and just making it into a smaller little landform on the other side with a little bit of a rock face on the one side tapered down to the edge of the board, just so that when you're looking at the model or diorama, it still lets you see the cliff basically from no matter what way you're looking at it. Before, it would have let me just see the cliffs if you're looking down between the two of them, so you're pretty well forced to look at it one way. So I just made that slight modification. Now I'm just weighing everything down a little bit just until the glue sets. Here's the plaster of Paris rock molds I made with the Woodland Scenics molds. I made a lot more than I really need just so that I can work with the pieces and see what fits. And
so that's going to conclude this part of my rock cliff and river build. Stay tuned for the other parts to walk through the completion of this project. So again, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, click that bell for future notifications, and thanks for watching.